Well guys, today we went out and purchased one of these Chicago Electric oscillating multifunction power tools. It states it has 8 functions. Well, we're going to see what these 8 functions are actually are. We went out and purchased this because we've got a grout removal project that we need to do in one of our bathrooms in our home that we built about 6 or 7 years ago. And you know, over time you see the grout start separating and coming apart, and you want to go back in there and clean what grout you can out of it and re-grout it. So that's a reason to purchasing this tool, and we're going to do a little unboxing orientation on it and kind of let you know how we feel about it at the beginning now, and then once we get going with it, we'll continue with the video and tell you if we're impressed with it or not. This thing here says you can remove grout, sand wood, scrape concrete, cut plastics, cut flooring, scrape flooring, cut metal, and plunge cut. It also says the price is irresistible, handyman. Well, I'd have to agree with that. When I went to Harbor Freight and picked this up, it was $19.99. I just couldn't bear the thought of going and paying $130, $140, $150 for one of these tools from the big box stores and not really using it that frequently. So if this thing lasts me 6 months to a year at $19.99, it was well worth the purchase. Pretty impressive for 20 bucks. Well, when you go into Home Depot, whoa, no Home Depot. When you go to Harbor Freight, the item will come packaged just like this. You know, you don't get any of the cutting accessories or the cutting blades or diamond grit half moon blades or any of that stuff. It'll come with the Allen wrench, and it'll come with the basic instructions, which doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Overall, looking at the tool, it looks pretty rugged, pretty durable. Again, for 20 bucks, you can't go wrong. 21,000 OPM, 120 volt, 1.6 amp, oscillating multifunction power tool. Now, we went out and purchased that one there, which is a 2 5/8 carbide grit, half moon blade. And these are quick change blades. It works with a lot of other major brands as well. This one is actually, let's see what it says here. Ideal for removing grout, cutting plastics, wood, putty, drywall, cement board, epoxy, glue joints, mortar, masonry, and notching ceramic tiles. A brazed carbide grit for a long-lasting cutting edge. Now the next one we purchased was a Warrior grit, diamond grit, 3.5-inch diamond grit, half moon blade, and it states it removes grout, plastics, epoxy, and glue joints. Maximum RPM 21,000 RPM. Now share your thoughts with me on this video, guys. Like I said, never used one of these, never did a grout job. And then the last one we purchased, another Warrior 3.5-inch half moon cutting blade. And this one for use with multi-purpose tools. Doesn't have anything on the blade, but let's see what's on the back of the package itself. Aggressive teeth, easily cut most plastics and wood. Offset collar for easy flush cuts. Half moon shape allows cuts in corners. High carbon steel blade material for wood, plastic, and other soft materials. So yeah, this is one you wouldn't use, of course, on a ceramic tile or porcelain tile or any type of tile. It definitely has to be this one, or it's going to have to be this one. Now, I guess trial and error is what it's going to be all about. As I stated earlier in the video, man, I've never worked with removing grout and trying to regrout the tile in my shower. So let's see how it goes. Well, here we are. This is the project from hell I was telling you about. As you can see, the old shower looks pretty nice still, but boy, when you get down here around the corners, look at that, would you? It's not pretty, is it? I don't like it. Not very many people do. See how that's kind of mold started growing there, a little hair down there, mostly in the corners. And you can see some of the tile up in this area. The grout is starting to come out of that. It's not bad when you get further up the wall. It looks actually pretty good. So we're only going to do about the lower third section of it. Especially in the corners. Look at those cracks where the grout's starting to separate. I don't believe when we had this house built that the contractor actually put any sealant, silicone or adhesive, or what are we going to call it, on top of the grout itself. But as I told you in the first part of the video, we got this old Chicago electric oscillating tool, and we're going to cut some of this stuff out of here, and we're going to show you how we're going to do it. We've never done it, but looked at a few videos out there on YouTube, and I think we can handle it. May not be perfect when we get done, but it'd be better than what we got. You see even the soap dish, man, how it's starting to separate and crack around there. Matter of fact, this one over here, I was just checking it a while ago, and I kind of pulled on it pretty hard, and I jerked it right out the wall. So that's a repair I'm going to have to do also. Now, I did take that tool before I started filming this, and I took it, kind of went in here. Let me grab the tool here. You know, folks, also always when you're using one of these, wear a dust mask and some eye protection. You never know what might happen. Yeah, but for the purpose of this video, I don't have a dust mask on because you wouldn't be able to understand what I'm saying. You can't understand me without one. But yeah, I've taken this tool and I went right here in this corner, and I just kind of tried to cut that stuff out of there, all the way down it. Now I didn't want to get, too much of the mine in the corners there because I was afraid I'd chip that tile out. So I just kind of gently just worked that tool in there at this angle, and then I turned it around and went back at this angle. If this tile here was actually buttoned up to this piece here. So I can come in here like this and cut it this way with no problems whatsoever. And it's going to have a gap there because that's the way they put the tile in the shower. On this other corner over here, I think we're going to run into basically the same thing. This part of the tile here butts up to this tile here. So we'll be able to come in here at this angle and cut that out as well. Now, we did do a little section down here on the base. That's what it looked like before. And we came in here and we actually was able to kind of take it at an angle like this. And then we came back and ran an angle like this on it. And it's actually cleaning it up pretty good. So maybe we're getting somewhere with that. Now I'll show you in a little while how the job progresses. I'll get my lovely old maid over here to help me hold this camera. And I'll try to get up there and show you how I was cutting it out with this Chicago electric tool. I think I'd benefit more if I went with that bigger blade. This is the smaller of the two I showed you at the beginning. If I took a bigger blade, I'd have a little more room, to work that tool. It'd be up here a little higher where I can get a little angle in it. Where the shorter, smaller disc, I'm having to lay the head down on that floor there, and it's just not getting the angle I quite want. But we'll do what we can with the head we got on it. And then here in a little bit, we'll swap that head out and see if it's any more beneficial. So stay tuned, and we'll get this thing fired up here shortly. And we'll continue with this grout removal process in this old 6, 7, 8-year-old, whatever it is, shower. See if we can make this thing look and feel a little bit better when you get in it. Something else you might want to consider or be concerned about is, you're going to get a lot of that old powder from that grout down in this shower. And you may want to put something across your drain there, which I don't have covered up yet, but I'm going to put some tape across it where I can come in here later on and just sweep that stuff back up instead of washing it down your drain and then later on having to call a plumber out there to fix that. So don't create another problem. Try to fix it before or stop it before you make the problem happen. Again, you might want to, cover that drain up to keep all that old powdery grout from getting down in there, because I imagine that stuff get in there and starts setting up, it'd be like cement. So that's an important thing I should have mentioned earlier. Okay. Alright guys, earlier in the video I discussed the topic of maybe changing out this cutting stone here, this blade. And I did change it out. I went to a little bigger one, so that I'll be able to get into these corners and have a little leeway both sides if I'm going to go this way or bounce it back and forth. Like I said, wear protection. I don't have any on now for the purpose of the video so you can hear me talk, and I know you probably can't hear me talk anyway, but anyhow, we're going to start cutting this little section out right here. And if you see, the tile actually mates up to this tile here. So we're going to want to cut at an angle like, well, here we go. The tile goes up to this here, and we're going to cut this angle this way so that we don't cut into the tile. That's where, you know, this is overlapping on top of that, but the gap is in between there. So here we go. This is with the little Chicago Electric little oscillating tool here to remove grout and all the above, they say. As you can see there, it took that grout right out of there. You know, you may also, if you're sensitive to hearing, you may want to put some kind of hearing protection on as well. Let me get a brush and knock that out of there. And you can see, the tool's a monster. For 20 bucks, it did a really good job. As you can see, it ate all of that grout out of there. And you can clearly see the tile does mate up to this tile here. So, my opinion of this little tool is well worth 20 bucks. And I think it'll get the whole job done. If the tile was this piece mated up to this piece, of course you'd lay the tool the opposite way. But if I did that now, I'd be breaking out the tile itself. So we're going to continue with the project. We're going to do the whole shower. But as you see, it's not really hard to actually remove all this grout. As long as you got a tool such, you know, a little oscillating tool, and you got the correct blade to cut the stuff out. I'll go a little bit more to show you a little bit more about how it works. It doesn't take really long to get it out of there. Get your brush and clean it out so you can see it. Now also, if your cameraman here, come down to the tool again, you can take this tool loose with this little, take an Allen wrench and loosen up the screw. And you can turn this blade to any angle. If you want to get in the corners, you can use this section only. So you just take the screw out, and it's got little notches inside the blade here where you can rotate this. You can set it at any angle you want. And that way you can get into tight corners and places like that. Well, folks, my opinion is I'm pretty impressed with the little tool. This pretty much concludes my video on how we're removing the grout in the shower. And then we'll continue with another video on showing the grout installation and replacing all the grout in these areas in the shower. Thanks for watching.